it's currently Saturday and I'm about to go to an exhibition to go and see the Magna Carta. And if you don't know what that is, it's like a medieval charter, and it really was foundational to kind of the creation of laws in Britain. Really important. So you might have heard of Bad King John, or even seen the Disney cartoon where the lion is King John and he's just, yeah, he's a nightmare. The cartoon's actually not that bad in retelling some elements of that story. His brother Richard was fighting the Crusades and John was left. And he's, I mean, as the name implies, Bad King John, like everybody hated him. He lost a load of money and land, and he was always trying to like do dodgy things to his brothers. He was just a terrible ruler, and it led to the barons all rebelling against him, and they ended up drawing up this charter, which basically laid out for the first time that the king is not above the law, because it was always thought that the king is divinely appointed by God, so like whatever the king says is the voice of God. For the first time they were like, the king is not above the law, he needs to, you know, adhere to the things that other people have to. So that was pretty huge. And I don't think they have the original one. I think that's been lost to time, but I think this is one of the earliest copies of it. And I did see it almost 10 years ago now. So, and the exhibition then was really good. It was all about like revolutions and stuff. So I don't know what it's going to be like this time, but I'm excited to go and see. But yeah, I thought we could just do that, pop in. I'm going to meet some friend, get some lunch. In the Northeast, we say dinner for lunch, but I'm like, I have to say lunch because people won't know what I'm saying. We say dinner for lunch and tea for dinner. Anyway, so we're going to do that. And then maybe like do some book shopping and stuff as well. We'll see how it goes. So this is my outfit of the day. It's quite basic, but it's just kind of the vibe I was feeling today. Like very subtle, like gothic autumnal, but still just very casual. So I've got my Doc Martens that I always wear. This skirt, I got it from Vinted, but it's originally Laura Ashley, and I cut it at the bottom because it went all the way to the floor and I didn't want it to be that long. This is from Fat Face, but I also got it off Vinted. And then these two necklaces I literally always wear. So it's this little crystal amethyst, and then there's also an amethyst moon here. And then this bag, this is the tote that I wear like all the time. It is from an artist called Hester Asplund, who is just amazing. And you can't really see now because it's faded, but it's like two hands reaching up from the earth with like leaves on the end, and it says, "You are not separate from the soil." So that's the vibe today. Pretty chill and simple. But yeah, we're gonna go and see what it's all about. Hopefully the exhibition's good. And what I might do as well while I'm there, I think they have something like, and I'll find out fully when I'm there, but something like they used to have a really old edition of Shakespeare, and it got stolen like in the 80s or something. I might have made that timeline up, but it was something like that. Anyway, and it's been found and now it's on display, so I might go and pop in and see that as well. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a nice day and you enjoy coming with me. These early September days are really starting to feel like autumn. There's that slight crispness to the air, and the trees have started to turn to rust and molten gold. The city is a lovely place to be at this time of year, with the scent of spiced coffee wafting from cafes, endless bookshops, and fallen leaves littering the earth. The Shakespeare exhibition was housed in the most beautiful old library where they had displayed the folio and information about it. It's just over 400 years old, and they've decided for now not to rebind it to preserve it in its original state. This folio was actually the only one in the world which contained Macbeth and The Tempest, so if it had have been lost back when it was first created, we may have had no knowledge of these plays at all. The Magna Carta was displayed in the cathedral itself, which is a beautiful building where the monk Bede and Cuthbert are laid to rest. You may also recognise this site as being a Harry Potter filming location where Hedwig took her first snowy flight in the Philosopher's Stone. The Cathedral Museum is full of Roman and Anglo-Saxon stones and treasures, and led down to where different copies of the Magna Carta were held under airlock. There is a copy covered in a big blotch of ink due to a historian in the 1700s knocking his ink bottle over. Apparently he was known to have the jitters from drinking up to 24 coffees a day and was banned from the library after this. After this, it was of course time to head into some of my favourite bookshops and browse the selection, adding a lot of titles to my ever-growing wish list. So I've just got back home now and I had a really good day actually. Everything was really nice. The Shakespeare folio was really cool. So yeah, it was a stolen folio which then reappeared, and I think somebody took it to, I think there's like a Shakespeare Centre in Washington DC or something. Anyway, they took it there, and then they kind of discovered like, oh, it's the one from Durham. So they had that on display, but unfortunately the binding was taken off and some pages are missing and stuff. So those pages are like floating around in the world somewhere. Like one of them is an art, like I think it's an illustration of Shakespeare. So somebody has secretly got that, or it's like lost to time. But anyway, it's quite interesting, and the library that it's in is really beautiful. And then obviously I love the bookshops, and the Magna Carta was cool as well. They had the oldest one, which is from 1216. I think, I might be wrong, but I think the original was signed in 1215, but I think it's gone, and that's the oldest one. So it was really cool to see something that was that old, in the calligraphy, like when writing was like an art. Yeah, really beautiful, and the seals that they have on the bottom, like the metal seals, are really cool. Yeah, so that was fun. I thought I'd do a really boring haul. This is what I got when I was out. I am obsessed with this brand, Yogi Tea. I think because they do really nice flavours and blends and stuff, but it's like always really good ingredients. This is one of my favourites. It's choco, and it's cocoa shells, cinnamon, licorice, carob, barley malt, cocoa powder, cardamom, ginger, cloves, ginger, oil, black pepper, vanilla, cinnamon oil, vanilla beans. So quite a lot of stuff, but it's kind of like, it's really cozy and it's got like a sweet chocolatey taste to it. And then I got this one as well, which I haven't had for ages, and this is the classic chai. Cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, cloves, black pepper and cinnamon oil. And yeah, I can smell it actually, it smells really good. I love chai and I love like spice stuff all time of the year, but especially now that we're getting into autumn. Then I got some of this turmeric sauerkraut from Biona Organic, and I always have this one. It's really nice. I was in the health food shop, so I just did a little seed replenish. So I've got pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and then I added loads of books to my wish list. So every time I see a book that I really want, I just take a picture of it, and then when I'm like looking to buy a book or make a wish list or whatever, I just look through that. So I saw some really cool, interesting stuff, but I did buy one thing from the used bookshop, which is this book, A Discovery of Witches. I've listened to the audiobook, and I watched the series as well, but I didn't own a hard copy of it, and I've really been getting the urge to read it again because this is like a bookmark they give us for the Shakespeare thing, because it is the perfect like autumnal academia vibe book. And it actually kind of reminded me of the Shakespeare Folio exhibition because in this, it's about a woman who is a historian, and she is like a historian of alchemical manuscripts and in history. So she gets a alchemical manuscript out of the Bodleian in Oxford to study it. But this manuscript's actually been missing for like thousands of years, and she's the first person to call it up. So it starts attracting all these, she's a witch, all these other witches and demons and vampires and stuff because they want to know what's in this book. But I remember listening to it and being like, wow, you know when you can tell that somebody really intelligent has written a book, because Deborah Harkness is a historian, I think, and she knows all about like actual alchemical manuscripts, so she really weaves that into it, and it's really interesting. And I remember all the descriptions of like Oxford and cups of tea. The way she described a cup of tea was just mwah. So I really remember all of those, like it's got the vibe of like Oxford, autumn time, back to school, university, magic, and darkness, and like an ancient book with pages missing from it, and like really, really cool vibes. And it's huge, actually. I didn't realise it was so big. But yeah, I had to pick this up because I've never seen it in the used bookshop before, so I thought it's a sign to reread it. So that's what I got. This tree is like hanging over the garden wall, and I've said it before, but it just looks like it's saying, please use me, please use me. So I'm gonna gather some berries. And what I'm actually thinking of doing, as well as making a syrup or something, is drying them out and making them into like Christmas gifts of like make your own elderberry syrup with like cinnamon sticks and stuff. So that's a little idea I've got, and we'll see how we get on with it. And apparently it's really good luck in folklore to have an elder tree growing at the bottom of the house or behind the house. So I love this lovely, lovely tree. So it's now Sunday, and we are going to go to a country farm show type thing this weekend. So I did actually go last year, and I did make a video about it, and it was really good. It had like different market stalls with like food and crafts, and then there was like dog shows, what's called show jumping, there was loads of stuff going on, like loads of different things. There was even like machinery, tractor stuff. But yeah, like it's like a full country show. And it was good last time, so hopefully it will be this time as well. This is the fit. It's not super interesting, but I thought this would go with the farm show vibes. This is a wax jacket it's actually from Fat Face, but I got it from Vinted, like everything, for like £15. So it's really comfy. It's got nice big pockets, it's got a little fold away hood and stuff. I've got this little necklace on which my mum got me, and it really just reminds me of her so much because it's a little moon, but it's got a little clover leaf in it, so it reminds me of her in Ireland. And then I might regret wearing flared jeans because, you know, it might be a muddy grass situation, but I just can't bring myself to wear jeans that, or like trousers that are skinny at the end. Like I just have to wear flares. So anyway, that's the vibe. And yeah, hopefully it'll be good, and hopefully you have a nice day. So I've just made a cup of tea, and I thought I would do a little book recommendation slash books that I've been reading recently. So I think I might do a separate autumnal reads recommendations video if you're interested in that, because I've got so many that really fit this vibe that I think would be really good. But this is more just like stuff that I've been reading recently. So I've been in a kind of gothic mood, I think because of the seasons. So the first one I read is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and if you've read The Secret History, it's very, very strongly inspired by The Secret History. So it is about a like college slash university for elite students, and it follows a group of theatre students, like actors, and it's all about Shakespeare. Like the only thing they do is Shakespeare. So it starts with the main character. He is getting out of prison for something that he was arrested for, and he was in prison for 10 years, and it's him retelling the story of what actually happened to the policeman, and it's very like dark academia vibes, like secrets and mysteries, and yeah, it's all that sort of thing. It is definitely like this sounds really horrible, it's like a budget version of The Secret History. It would not exist without that book. It's really obvious to see that, but it's like a Shakespeare theatre version. So I did really enjoy it still. Yeah, I thought it was a good read. The next one that I read is definitely not for everyone. It is Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind. And this is a book that has been doing the rounds, I think, online as well. And I got it in a charity shop years ago because I'd heard of it, but I didn't really know anything about it. And I loved this book, but it's definitely not for everyone. Content warning after content warning. It is very grotesque and dark and disturbing, and it basically follows the story of this man who, well, we start with him as a baby going through his life, and he has a extraordinary ability with scent. He can smell to like an extreme level. He can literally like walk in the dark just by scent alone, and he is like a master of scent. But he's also got like no proper human emotions, and he's kind of like on this quest to craft like the perfect scents. If you are like squeamish or you don't like disturbing like grotesque things, don't read this book. It's very gross. The descriptions of scent, there's violence, it's not nice. He's not a nice character, but I thought the writing in this book was impeccable. really, really stunning, disgusting way with words, and I love people who are very wordy and describe things in really weird ways, and that's definitely what happened here. I never thought of scent like this before, so I love this book, but don't read it if you don't like stuff like that. This is a book I'm currently reading. So as I mentioned, I'm going through this gothic phase. So this is The Phantom of the Opera, and I have actually never seen the film or the play or anything. So the only thing I've seen of it is like random screenshots or pictures of whoever it is wearing half a mask or something. I think that's the film or the play. I don't know. Something about a guy living in the opera theatre. That's all I know about it. So I thought I'll just go into this blind, and yeah, this is the mood I'm in. It's like this kind of gothic mood. And so far it's pretty waffly. I don't mind waffle, but this is pretty waffly, and it's kind of like a little bit all over the place because it is told by a unreliable narrator who openly says that he is sort of piecing together the story of what happened with this Phantom of the Opera across all these different sources. So it's unreliable from the outset, and it's a little bit meandering. I haven't got very far. There was a very long prologue. So yeah, I will let you know how it goes. And then the other thing that I just read is completely different. It's actually one of the Hunger Games novels by Suzanne Collins, and this is Sunrise on the Reaping. So if you have seen the Hunger Games or read them, then you'll know of the character called Haymitch, and it is about his story of when he was in the Hunger Games. And it's YA, so it's not an adult book, but it's still very violent and dark and sad. And I felt like, whoa, she must have had her work cut out for writing this book, because it must have been difficult to write, because you already know that he ends up becoming an alcoholic and, like, you know, the state that he's in, because when you've seen the Hunger Games and you've read the Hunger Games, so it's kind of like his life story of like how it got to that point. And he's a really great character, so it was good to see him like as a teenager and stuff. It's very sad. It's really sad, but it was really good and I enjoyed it. And my friend just lent me the one about President Snow and his experience in the Hunger Games. I think he was in the Hunger Games. I haven't read it yet. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. Those are my little suggestions. And yeah, if you would like it and be interested in it, I would love to do like an autumn book recommendations video, because I love to read and I feel like I don't talk about it that much on YouTube, and I would like to talk about it more. I love to read, I love literature, I love to write, and I've got so many books to talk about, and I'm really feeling those like gothic autumnal vibes. I want like classic gothic literature, I want like dark academia books, all this type of stuff. That's my vibe at the minute, so those are the things that I'm going to be reading. Anyway, I've waffled a lot there, but hopefully that was interesting and give you some ideas of things that you might want to read.